Hello everyone. So today's theme for our practice is standing on your own feet, and it is a grounding theme. So we really are going to be working and bringing awareness to the feet, the legs, and the pelvis area. And obviously all the other parts of the body are connected to the legs, but really finding that space where we ground and the foundation of our bodies. So before we start, just a reminder that if you feel any pain, then please come out of the poses. Please be very mindful as we move on the mat today. Make sure that you're listening to your body, and I hope that you enjoy the class today. And the props that we will need are 2 blocks. And if you don't have blocks, then some thick, sturdy books will also work. All right. We are going to be starting in mountain pose today. So standing either at the front of your mat or in the center of your mat, planting your feet in the ground hip width apart. Feet are parallel to each other, so you can always just look down and check in with where your feet are. Just pulling up in the belly, the lower belly, and not tilting the pelvis back or tilting it forward, but finding that lovely balance with your hips and that zipping up in the front to engage the core. Shoulders roll up towards the ears and back down. And the hands are by the side, palms facing forward. Growing the spine tall and the head moving towards the sky and the feet planting in towards the mat. Slowly softening the gaze or closing the eyes and starting to notice your breath right here, right now, in this moment. And each moment moving forward, setting an intention to bring your awareness back to breath, back to the body as we practice on the mat. Notice the belly rising and falling. Even though we've got this engagement happening in the belly, we are also using the breath, the diaphragm, to pull down towards the feet, the pelvis, to open up the belly and massage the internal organs. Softening the belly. A slight micro bend in the knees is always welcome. And every exhale, allowing the body to soften in this shape. One more breath, inhale and exhale in this shape. And then bringing your awareness down to the soles of your feet. Noticing where your balls of the feet lie on the mat, those front two corners. And then taking your awareness on the sides of your feet and to your heel, the back two corners of your feet, and then your arch, slightly tickling the mat. And then bringing your awareness to your toes and lifting them all up, all 10 toes up, flexing the foot so that the toes are pointing towards the ceiling, towards the sky, and wiggling them. Noticing how they are feeling today in this moment. What sensations are the toes sharing with you? And then bringing those toes to stillness and planting one toe at a time down from the outside, the baby toes down first, and then moving towards the big toes. Notice how the toes are spread out and just resting on the mat where the four corners are supporting you and the toes are supporting you in a gentle, light way. And then we bring our awareness to the right foot and shift the weight ever so slightly onto that right foot. And raising the heel off the mat and bringing your left foot all the way up, rolling it onto the left toes. And then rolling that foot all the way back to the heel and lifting the left toes up off the mat and ball of the foot off the mat. As we move forward, we inhale and exhale as we rock that left foot back onto the heel. Inhale as we move forward. Exhale as we move back. Inhale as we move forward. Exhale as we move back. And one more time. Inhale and exhale. Just taking a moment to notice how the foot was moving onto the toes and back onto the heel. What are the sensations that are happening in the foot right now? And then shifting your weight over slightly onto the left foot. And then again, we work with the right foot. So we inhale as we rise onto the right toes and exhale as we move back onto the heel. Inhale and exhale. Noticing how the foot is moving as we inhale. 2 more rounds here. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. And then placing that foot down and bringing it to stillness. Taking a moment to notice where the foot is at right now. And then shifting that weight slightly over to the right foot again. And taking the left foot out onto the outer foot, rolling it out. And as we exhale, we roll it back in. So inhale to the outer, exhale to the inner. Being aware of how the toes are moving from side to side along the mat when you're moving from side to side. Your toe prints, your footprint as it rolls. Last inhale and exhale. And then coming to stillness, taking one moment to notice how the foot feels, the sole of the foot feels on the mat. No judgment, just being where it is at right now. And then taking your weight slightly over to the left foot and bringing that awareness to rolling out onto the outer foot of the right foot. Inhale and roll inwards to the inner foot. Exhale. And again, checking in with the toes and how they are planting into the mat as we roll the foot from side to side. Checking in with your breath, noticing inhale as you go into the outer, exhale as you come into the inner. One more round. And then coming to stillness and taking a moment to notice how the right foot feels right now after this motion. And then bringing your weight all the way over to that right foot. Checking the four corners of the foot are planted into the mat. The toes are pushing into the mat lightly. And lifting up that left foot and starting to circle the ankle. Slow, gentle movements, mindful movements. Noticing where your breath is at. If the balance is, if you're finding your balance is a little bit off today, that's okay. Just bring your hands to your hips to steady you. Change direction. And then bringing that left foot back down to the mat. Shifting the weight over onto the left foot. Bringing that right foot all the way back or off the mat. And starting to circle that right ankle. Changing direction. And then bringing that right foot back down towards the mat. And taking a moment to notice the right ankle. Bringing the arms back down to mountain pose, growing tall out of the spine. Shoulders rolling down, zipped up in the belly. And noticing the left foot now. The ankle, the sole print, your toes. And one more inhale and exhale here. And then slowly bending the knees. So a small mini squat. So not going into a full squat, but just checking in with where the knees are at now in this moment. Just bending and stretching, checking in with the knees. There may be some clicks. There may be some other little noises, pops. That's all okay. Just noticing small mindful mini squats. Using your breath as you move up and down. And then we're going to add in those foot rolls that we were using earlier, the front to the back. So inhale as we move forward onto the toes, lifting the heels, and exhale as we roll back onto the heels. Inhale with a mini squat, up onto the toes, lengthen the legs out, and exhale as we roll back onto the heels. Inhale up, exhale back. Inhale up, noticing how the feet are moving against the mat, and the knees are moving up and down. Inhale up, exhale back. We're going to add in some arms. Inhale up, and our arms go up onto the toes. Exhale back onto the heels. Inhale up, exhale back. Inhale up, and exhale back. So a slow swing. Inhale up, exhale back. And slowly dropping the torso forward as we move back. But not dropping the torso all the way down, almost at a 45-degree angle. And we can start bringing in a little bit more energy into the swing. Move the way your body feels it needs to move in the swing. And we're going to bring in some breath now. So inhale up, exhale, shoo. Inhale up, exhale, shoo. Out through the mouth. So shoo sound. Shoo. 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 We're going to carry on with this motion for about a minute. Shoo. Shoo. These are lymph swings. Shoo. 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 Moving into kind of like a meditative state of this movement. Shoo. 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 You can move faster or slower. Just notice where your body is at. Shoo. 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 And then slowly slowing that movement down and coming back to that natural rhythm of your breath. And then we'll meet in mountain pose with the arms up rather than by your sides. Allowing the lymph to drain. Our lymph doesn't have a pump like the blood vessels do. So our muscles are there to help with shifting the lymph. Soften the gaze or close your eyes. Just noticing where you are at right now in this moment. And then slowly bringing those arms all the way down and back into mountain pose. 3 inhales and exhales with a sigh. And then coming back to your natural rhythm of your breath. And then coming to the front of your mat. Standing in that mountain pose, checking in that the feet are planted, all 4 corners of the feet are into the mat. The feet are hip width apart and parallel to each other, zipping up, but again, checking in that the pelvis is balanced and not tilting back or forward. Rolling the shoulders up to the ears and back down. Arms by your sides. Taking an inhale and an exhale with a sigh. And our next inhale, we sweep our arms all the way up, gaze to thumbs, exhale all the way down into forward fold. Inhale to halfway lift, exhale back into forward fold. Drop the chin all the way towards the chest. And then roll all the way up, 1 vertebra at a time. Back to mountain pose, roll the shoulders and then the head comes up last. Inhale as we sweep our arms all the way up. Gaze to thumbs, exhale all the way into forward fold. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale down to forward fold. And roll 1 vertebra at a time all the way up. Roll the shoulders and then the head comes up last. Inhale all the way up, sweeping those arms up, gaze to thumbs. Exhale all the way into forward fold. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale into forward fold. Inhale all the way up, 1 vertebra at a time. Roll the shoulders, head comes up last. Inhale all the way up. Gaze to thumbs. Exhale all the way down to forward fold. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale into forward fold. Inhale 1 vertebra at a time all the way up. Roll the shoulders and then the head comes up last. And one last time, inhale all the way up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. We're adding in, stepping back with your left foot into low lunge. Knee goes down towards the mat. Check that the front knee is stacked on top of the front ankle. And then plant that left hand in towards the mat and opening up with the right arm towards the right leg in a twist. Gaze to thumb or gaze down towards the left hand. Check in with where you feel is necessary right now and what your body is feeling right now. Checking in with your breath, using the natural rhythm of your breath. Continuing to follow your breath and noticing where the body is at in this shape. And one more inhale and exhale. And then bringing that right hand all the way back down. Lifting the left knee off the ground and bringing the left foot back to meet the right foot in forward fold. And roll one vertebra at a time all the way up. Roll the shoulders and then the head comes up last. Standing in mountain pose. And then inhale as we sweep our arms all the way back up. Gaze to thumbs. Exhale as we forward fold. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. And then stepping back with the right foot this time. Knee down towards the mat in low lunge. Planting the right hand in towards the mat and opening up the left hand and arm all the way towards the ceiling. Gaze to the left thumb or gaze down towards the right hand. Checking in where your body feels it needs to be right now. Following your natural rhythm of your breath. Noticing where your body is. One more inhale and exhale here. And then bringing that left hand all the way back down to the mat. Lifting up that right knee and stepping that right foot back to meet the left foot and rolling one vertebra at a time all the way up. Roll the shoulders and then the head comes up last and standing in mountain pose. Coming back to your natural rhythm of your breath. And noticing how the body feels right now. Bringing your awareness to the inside of your body. Witnessing, noticing this moment. On your next inhale, sweeping your arms up to the top, gaze goes to thumbs, exhale all the way down to forward fold, release the neck, inhale up to halfway lift, exhale back down to forward fold. Inhale as we step back into downward dog. Spreading your fingers wide, press into the ground with your hands. Notice the connection beneath you, hands and feet both rooting. Let your heels reach back, not forcing them down, just sensing the ground beneath the balls of the feet. Downward dog is a gentle inversion, bringing the head below the heart, which can help calm the nervous system. Taking your big toes to touch at the back of the mat and lifting up your left leg. And then squeezing your heel towards the buttocks and then rolling that heel all the way over the body to open up that left hip. Noticing how that left hip feels and breathing into this space. Checking in with your breath. And then bringing that heel back over, all the way over, squaring the hips. And then bringing that foot, left foot, all the way forward into lunge to warrior one. So making sure that your knee is stacked on top of that left ankle. And then raising your arms all the way up and lengthening the arms up, the fingers moving towards the sky, shoulders rolled down, and that back foot is in 45-degree angle. Noticing your breath, feeling into your breath. And then moving into warrior two, that back foot moves to so that the toes are facing the side of the mat and the front knee is still stacked on top of the front ankle. The hips are facing the side of the mat. Your gaze is at the middle finger. Your shoulders are rolled down and your hips are square. Again, feeling both feet grounded equally. Noticing the breath. And one more inhale and exhale here. And I'm going to drop the back arm all the way down and the front arm goes up and over, making sure that the back arm is not on the knee. In reverse warrior, lengthening the left side of the body. Again, listening to your breath. And then coming all the way forward, our elbow to the knee. The back arm comes up and over into extended side angle. Don't drop your shoulder. Lengthen out of your shoulder, that front shoulder. Noticing the breath. One more inhale and exhale here. And then we're going to move into a lunge, stepping that front foot back and back into downward dog. Making sure that the tailbone is reaching for the sky, the shoulders and the head are moving towards the feet, and the gaze is at the navel. Notice your toes, the balls of the feet, the length through your heels. Notice your hands, how the weight is shared across the palms and the fingers. This is your whole body grounding. Again, bring the big toes to touch at the back. And then lifting your right leg up this time. All the way up into three-leg dog. And squeezing the heel towards the buttocks. And then taking that heel all the way over the left side of the body, opening up the right hip. Noticing how that right hip feels. Breathing into this shape. And taking one last inhale and exhale here. And bringing that heel back over and stepping through to the front of your mat into that warrior one. The back foot is at a 45-degree angle. Front knee is stacked on top of the front ankle. Hips are square. Your fingertips are reaching for the sky and checking in with how your breathing is right now in this moment. One last inhale and exhale here. And then moving into that warrior two. The back toes are facing the side of the mat, opening up the hips, that external rotation in the thighs. Front knee is stacked on top of the front ankle again. Gaze at middle finger. Roll the shoulders down away from the ears. Standing strong in your warrior two. Feeling the weight distributed across the 2 feet equally. Inhale and taking the arm back. Moving into that reverse warrior, dropping the back arm down towards the thigh, not onto the knee. And the front arm sweeps over, gaze is up underneath the armpit. Front knee is stacked on the front ankle and feeling that right side opening up. Checking in with your breath. One more inhale and exhale here, and then moving your front arm towards your knee, extended side angle, that back arm over, and your gaze is underneath your armpit. Check that you're not dumping into the shoulder. Noticing your breath. One more inhale and exhale here, and then moving into a low lunge and back into downward dog. Your third downward dog of the day. Checking in with your breath. The downward dog helps with circulation and supports that lymph flow. And then walking your hands back towards your feet into that forward fold. And then slowly, one vertebra at a time, bending your knees all the way up to the top. Roll the shoulders, the head comes up last, and standing in your mountain pose. Checking in with your body right here, right now. Taking a deep inhale and exhaling through the mouth with a sigh. And then walking to the middle of your mat, grounding your feet. Taking your hands to your hips, shifting your weight over to the right foot, and then taking your left heel to meet your right ankle, and the ball of your foot is placed on the mat. Knee out to the side. Variation 1. Variation 2 is taking your sole of your foot up to the lower leg, again with your knee out to the side, that external rotation. Variation 3 is taking your heel in towards the groin and the sole of your foot is above the knee. You can take a deep inhale and raise your arms above your head. And you can take your hands to meet in prayer if you feel that that's where you would like to be. Just notice where your body needs to be in this moment. Notice your breath, that you're not holding it. And then when you're ready, taking your arms all the way down, placing them on your hips, and releasing your foot back down towards the mat. Shaking out the legs. You can take one leg and shake it out, and then the other leg and shake it out. And then planting your feet back into the ground. Noticing your breath in Tadasana, checking in with your body. Witnessing any sensations that may be in that right leg after grounding it in tree pose. Taking your hands to your hips and then shifting your weight over to the left foot. Taking the right heel to meet the left ankle and resting the ball of the foot on the mat in variation 1 of tree pose. Having that lovely external rotation in the right thigh. You can go to variation 2 when you're ready, meeting the sole of your foot to the lower leg. And when you're ready, moving into variation 3 where you can take your heel to meet the groin. And making sure that your knee is free from that right foot. You can take your hands above your head. You can take your hands into prayer pose at the top of your head, making sure that you're checking in with your breath, noticing how the body feels in this shape. You can stay in any variation you would like. And then you can take your hands back down towards your hip. And then releasing the leg, shaking the legs out, and when you're ready, standing in Tadasana. Checking in with your body, noticing any sensations down that left leg. One more inhale and exhale here with a sigh. And then your next inhale, sweeping your arms up over your head and taking each hand to meet the opposite elbow like a frame around your head, and then forward folding all the way down. into ragdoll. Swaying from side to side gently, just noticing how the back body feels and the belly feels as it rolls over the thighs. Releasing your neck, releasing your spine, and really allowing your whole body to relax and feel heavy into this shape. Noticing the breath and bending the knees, and then starting to slow the movement down, coming to a stillness, and then releasing the arms. Placing your hands down to the ground, stepping back into the last downward dog of the day. 5 breaths here. Feeling into that full body stretch. And once you have finished those 5 rounds of breath, we meet in tabletop. So the knees lower down to the ground and into that tabletop, making sure that the wrists are under the shoulders, knees are underneath the hips, toes tucked under. Moving into cat-cow, inhale as the tailbone moves towards the sky and the head moves towards the tailbone, dropping the belly down, tucking the toes under. As we exhale, going into cat, tucking the tailbone under and tucking the chin towards the chest, the back stretches up towards the sky and allowing the feet to flatten out. So the toenails are on the mat and the tops of the feet are on the mat. Continuing in cat-cow a few rounds, going at your own pace and following the natural rhythm of your breath. Moving one vertebra at a time as you move in and out of cat and cow. Feeling what it's like to be supported by just your knees and toes, hands and arms. Coming to stillness in tabletop, and then moving your tailbone towards your heels, toes tucked under, and walking your hands back towards your knees. Lengthening the necks of your toes and soles of your feet with this gentle pressure from the body. And then you can slowly move towards sitting onto your buttocks, planting your feet into the ground. Feet are parallel to each other. Arms go parallel towards the mat. And then rolling one vertebra at a time all the way down towards the mat. Coming to lying on your back. And then bringing your knees in towards your chest, hugging your knees towards your chest. Noticing the soles of the feet, noticing the knees, noticing the lower back, and you can roll and from side to side, just releasing and massaging the back body, noticing your breath. And then release your left leg all the way down towards the mat, and then your right leg. Arms are on both sides of the body. You can roll the hips, getting comfortable, roll the shoulders up and down the mat so the shoulder blades are rolling down the mat or sliding down the mat into Shavasana. Letting the body fully rest here. The ground holds you completely. Nothing to carry, nothing to balance. Noticing your breath, natural breathing in and out, the natural flow. Throughout this practice, you've explored what it means to stand on your own 2 feet, not through force, but through connection. your feet, your legs, your breath, all working together to support you. When the body feels supported, the nervous system softens, and from that place, balance becomes something you feel, not something you try to control. Can lie in this pose for as long as you feel you need to. And when you are ready, whether it be now or later on, begin to deepen the breath and invite little movements back into the body. Gently roll onto your right side or left side, pausing there for just a moment and feel the nurturing of that fetal position. And then coming up to seated position, keeping your eyes closed, checking in with your breath. And then when you're ready, bringing your hands to your heart in prayer. And just pausing here, connecting to your heart space with a sense of care, compassion, and gratitude for yourself. Gently bringing your hands to your feet and giving gratitude to your feet. Maybe you'd like to stroke your legs all the way up to the groin to say thank you for supporting me today and each day that we walk and stand. And then bringing your hands back to prayer to your heart. And take a moment to acknowledge anything you feel grateful for today. Your body, your breath, your strength, your journey, anyone that is in your life that you need to send gratitude or feel you need to send gratitude to. Honoring you and your journey. Namaste, and thank you very much for joining me on the mat today.